Questions and answers. Your host, featuring me.
Oh, yes indeed, there are more questions than answers. Like I'm no longer impressed that Nicolas Cage managed to steal the Declaration of Independence. Ruined that film for me. Absolutely ruined it. Unbelievable. I went to a restaurant so bad that even Nicolas Cage turned down the rolls. How bad must that restaurant have been? Worst restaurant experience in your life? Any thoughts, anything you'd like to share? Your worst experience of dining out? I've spoken many times on the show, of course, about my experiences of eating camel in North Africa. That wasn't so much the service, I guess, but the food. I'm not going to go over that again. I have restless nights and my therapist wouldn't want me to bring up the camel incident again. I once turned down a soup, a tomato soup. I love tomato. Tomato.
Tomato.
And basil, tomato and basil soup. They'd put honey in it. It was really sweet and disgusting. I sent that back. Anything you've sent back, anything you can think of that was disgusting, anything you've not been out to any restaurants, have you?
Denny's.
It's Dairy Queen and Denny's. You had a bad experience in Denny's, did you?
Yep. They burnt everything.
They burnt everything. Incinerated. Took a flamethrower to your burger and fries. Where can you go wrong? I'm thinking if you're preparing a high-class meal, there's many little things that can go wrong along the way, right? How can you get a burger and fries wrong? How's that even possible? You can't think in all your travels around the world of an incident where you've been in a bad restaurant.
I did something bad in a restaurant when I waitressed.
You did a number 2 under the table.
Oh, I dropped 4 lobsters.
Oh, no.
On the floor.
Wow.
Were they alive?
Scoop them back up again?
The chef scooped them back up and put them in a very hot oven.
Oh, so they were reused, were they?
Mm-hmm.
So don't go and eat the lobster if you're in a restaurant where Michelle is waiting. I bet there must have been a couple of $100 worth of food on the floor.
Oh, there was
wasn't
broken plates and scallops were rolling across the kitchen floor, and I was so scared, and I was trying to clean up the plates, and then I saw the cook's orthopedic shoes.
Wow, the cook's orthopedic shoes. Did he stand corrected once you told him about it? I'm going to ring the bell. I don't care. That's funny. I don't care who you are. That's a funny joke.
He pulled me up and he said, "Michelle, don't worry. We will fix it."
Was he Italian?
He was Swedish.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. You've obviously got the same book that Heather uses for her accents.
Yes.
I had an argument once when I had a shepherd's pie and it came along and it turned out to be ground beef. Because a shepherd's pie by default is lamb, right? Anything with beef in it is going to be a cottage pie. So I was trying to tell the waiter the difference between cottage pie and shepherd's pie. But unfortunately, all that falls upon deaf ears. Hi, America. Hello, world. My name is Adrian Lee and I am your host. Welcome to the show. More questions than answers. The only paranormal quiz show anywhere in the world. Each week, my guests and I will search the world's newspapers, websites and TV shows just for you to bring you the very best in paranormal talk radio, entertainment and enlightenment. We will then test each other's knowledge of the week's events of the mysterious, strange, supernatural, unusual, bizarre, and just plain weird. If you have just tuned in especially to hear the show, then I admire your taste. If you have just tuned in by accident, then I admire your luck. I am huddled under my quilt with a large flashlight and a nice cup of tea with tonight's guests, somewhere in the barren wildernesses of the Midwest Plains, with the sound of my mother snoring distantly from the room next door. Each week we press our ear against the bedroom wall, Whatever my mother listens to before she goes to bed picks and pulls on her unconscious mind, and that is the very tune she snores. Let's have a listen tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Girls on film. Girls on film. You're not paying attention, are you?
A little bit.
She's listening to early 80s Duran Duran. I went to a party at Art College back in the early 90s and late 80s, and Simon Le Bon was there. He'd turned up with Yasmin, his wife. It was an art college. It's all very arty. I have been to a party with Simon Le Bon.
Ooh.
I never spoke to him, but I can say that. I can say I've done those things. So snuggle under your covers, turn out your lights, and hold on tight. The rules are very simple. Points will be awarded randomly for being interesting or for making me laugh or shiver in horror. Extra points will be available for shock and awe value. To help me control my rowdy panel of recidivists and reprobates, I will employ what I have called the inappropriate bell. An example of this would be... The panel have no idea what's coming. I have no idea what stories they have for tonight's show. So let me introduce my guests. Firstly, the mysterious and effervescent Heather Morris. She's been a paranormal investigator for many years with her own team called Hellhound Investigations, and as we know, does all of her best work in the shadows. She is now one of the leading audio and EVP experts with the International Paranormal Society and brings her knowledge and research skills to tonight's show. She is also our producer and sound engineer. We are told we can have gatherings of up to 8 people without issues. Unfortunately, Heather does not know 8 people without issues. Welcome to the show, Heather.
Hello.
There we go. None of Heather's friends suffer with mental illness. They actually seem to enjoy it. I also wish to introduce the mad and crazy Michelle Corrie. She was born and raised in Mora, Minnesota, and has a keen and avid interest in all things paranormal. Michelle was once beaten with a camera, and she still gets flashbacks. Welcome to the show, Michelle.
Thank you.
Luckily, we don't need cameras and CCTV in this town. Neighbours and relatives are enough.
Yeah.
Isn't that the case?
Yes.
Small towns. I come from London. 12 million people. I didn't even know who my neighbours were. Here, I walk a couple of blocks to the library. The library gets a phone call, and the librarian says, "Are you Adrian? Someone wants to talk to you." This is my world. It's a very small and strange place to be in a Midwestern town. They're mad, they're bad, and they are paranormal. This is season 4, episode 26. Do we know why that's important? Do we want to hazard a guess as to why this is an important episode today?
Because it's almost our 300th.
We are. This is episode, if you're keeping count, 299. Can you believe that? 299, which means if you're good at maths, next... I've never understood that. You say math in this country, don't you?
Yeah.
In Britain, I say maths, but it's actually short for the word mathematics, which has an S on the end. It makes no sense to me, but here we are, potato, potato. We're on episode 299. Next week is 300. We're going to have a bit of a celebration. We'll reminisce about some of our favourite episodes. I have put a poll on Facebook. If you go to Facebook and search for more questions and answers with Adrian Lee, you will find a poll where I've asked people for their favourite moment over the last 7 or 8 years, over nearly 300 episodes. And we put a lot of work into this. You see me throwing away reams of paper, all the research we do, the jokes, the writing, the intro, the outro. A lot of work goes into making this show. We've not even discussed the makeup and the lighting, and that's just on me. But out of everything we've organised in this show, all the hard work we put in, top of the list so far, and you still have time to vote, ladies and gentlemen, top of the list so far was you falling off your chair. So after all that hard work, people's favourite moment over 300 episodes is you being drunk and falling off your chair.
That was so bad.
It makes me think we're back in the days of Charlie Chaplin and Laurel and Hardy. Slapstick is what they want.
Yeah.
I may end this show by throwing things at you ladies. Slapstick. There'll be custard pies.
Oh.
I'll have a car where the doors fall off.
And the house falls
slapstick.
in.
We're listening to what you want. We're going to go slapstick from now on in. I may put a big plate of jelly down the front of Heather's pants at some point. Something
I don't think so.
food related. Maybe a couple of lobsters down your trousers. We'll see how that pans out. It's also a very, very famous and interesting day today because it is, in fact, my mother's birthday.
Oh,
Happy birthday to my mother.
Happy birthday, Jenny.
If it's not one thing, it's your mother. So tonight we're going to do a quiz on my mother.
nice.
No, we're not. I
Oh.
can't be bothered to do such things, and you wouldn't know the answers anyway. Maybe next week if she sends me a nice message, perhaps. If you wish to join in, we have a watch party taking place at this very moment on Facebook. There's not many shows you can watch live on MCN6 or any other channel for that matter and interact with the listeners. We're going to do a quiz very shortly called A Lack of General Knowledge, and you can play along at home. If you go to Facebook, search for More Questions and Answers with Adrian Lee, you can play along at home. You can share gifts, you can interact with other viewers, you can chat, you can make friends, you can flirt, you can do whatever you want on there.
Yeah.
But we are going to do a quiz very shortly, and you can play along at home. What else have you got to do? What other things are more important than that right now, I would suggest? So as convention dictates, we go to the Martin sponsored Watch the Birdie Gong of Infinite Knowledge, the tripod and zoom lens of facts, and those photographs aren't mine, Officer of Statistics.
Martine.
Thank you, Martin.
This is a stimulus and response situation here, which ushers in the first round. I've already discussed today, it's my mother's birthday. I don't know, for whatever reason, we've been doing this show for 7 or 8 years now, and due to leap years, due to various things like that, I don't ever recall the show actually being plumb on my birthday. Do you ever recall doing it on your birthday? I mean, it's been the birthday week,
Close.
isn't it?
Yeah.
But actually on the very day. We seem to have avoided that somehow. Perhaps we can look at the calendar and remedy that for one of us in the room right now. Now, on this very day, in 1855, if you can imagine such wonders, the height of the Victorian period, the first ever bridge over the Mississippi was completed. All you need to do to get your points today is to tell me what state that was.
Mississippi.
So happy birthday. So that's where it's its widest. So that's probably a good guess because you're going to be at its widest point. In the state of Mississippi, that's a very wide river at that point because the next stop is the Gulf of Mexico. Do you see where we are? So in 1855, the first bridge over the Mississippi was built. Happy birthday to that bridge. I need you to tell me where. We've started the ball rolling. Yes, but I've just told you you're wrong. So the fact that you keep doing that... What's that saying about if you do the same thing over and over again and expect a different outcome?
Iowa.
It's wrong. Iowa. The Mississippi does go through Iowa. That's not a bad guess. I'll take that. Michelle, to win your points tonight.
I don't know. Illinois?
Illinois. I suggest perhaps we can keep going and the points will just come as soon as you mention the state.
Minnesota.
There you go. Morris has won her first points of the evening. I shall prepare that for her by writing that down. We don't want the idea of any kind of cheating or shenanigans taking place here. If I didn't make notes or take heed of your points, you are on 2 very wet and blustery points. It was, in fact, in Minnesota. I gave you the clue by saying where the Mississippi was perhaps at its narrowest. Are there not parts of Minnesota where you can just walk over, step over the Mississippi? Because it's a little narrow strip of water, almost bordering on a brook or a stream, perhaps. Is that not the case?
It's true.
You're Minnesotan. Step in and help me out at any point. Feel free to jump in and help the foreigner here. So for the very first time in the history of MQTA Radio and celebrating our 299th episode, I cannot believe that strange, bizarre and fascinating facts about Minneapolis and Minnesota. And you have every reason to get the points tonight. I don't want any failings. I don't want anyone making excuses. You should be rolling in points by the end of this round. Feeling confident?
No.
Wow. I can't make it any simpler for you. I do remember in one of the first ever episodes we ever did 7 or 8 years ago, maybe episode 2 or 3 of season 1, I asked a quiz on each individual person and you couldn't even get them right. Birth signs, what your name means, crazy things. Do you know what Michelle means?
Michael in French.
I will give you that, but then guess what my next question's going to be?
What does Michael mean?
Exactly.
He's an angel.
He is an angel, but what does that mean? I have no idea. I'm sure one of our listeners, we've gone off task, which is always dangerous. When you leave the structure, you've got problems at that point. Crazy things can happen. This isn't Vietnam. There's rules. Okay. The St. Paul Saints baseball team. Are you familiar with the St. Paul Saints baseball team?
Uh-huh.
Who do they have as their team psychologist? Miss Morris. Who is the team psychologist?
A cat.
For the St. Paul Saints baseball team. So you're going to go with a cat as the team psychologist.
Yeah.
I mean, he just sits there and in the locker rooms going, you've got this in the bag. You can win this. You've got these guys on the rack. You should be able to win. You just think in your mind of the best time you've hit the ball and keep replaying that. And that's your team psychologist is a cat. Does he have a name, this cat?
Fidget.
Wow, that's specific. That makes me think you know of a cat already named Fidget.
No.
Where did you pull that from?
No idea.
What would you say if I said the team psychologist of the St. Paints
The St. Paints.
Pissball team was a cat named Fidget?
I would fall over.
Yeah, it isn't, unfortunately, but I love the answer. You have the whole world to choose upon, but you can't choose a cat named Fidget. So that doesn't leave you much, does it, to be fair?
No, I know they have a ball pig and they have a nun that gives haircuts.
They have a nun that gives haircuts?
Yes.
I wonder how she got into that habit. I love this show.
Psychologist is probably a dog.
Would you like me to give you a clue?
Yeah.
He's very famous and he's also the co-owner, if that helps you. He's the co-owner of the St. Paul Saints and he's very, very famous.
Jesse Ventura.
Let me go one step further and it'll be the first person to call this out. He's also co-owner of other baseball teams. I can't believe you can't get this. What about if I said the Cubs in Chicago? Would that help?
No.
You cannot get it based on those sets of parameters. Am I going to have to tell you, Michelle? It's Bill Murray. Bill Murray lists himself as the team psychologist. One moment. It's medicinal.
Yes.
Yeah, I need to have medicinal libations in this country. It's very cold and having to deal with two American women. I never had grey hair till I met you two. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
Look,
You're welcome.
Look. It is, in fact, Bill Murray, famous for saying, I rarely wear underwear, but when I do, it's usually something unusual. Something unusual. There we go. Cinderella story. Boy made good. It's a Cinderella story. I can't give the points away, but do not fear. We have more questions on Minnesota. All you have to do this evening to win your points is tell me what Minnesota's state fruit is. What is the state fruit of Minnesota? You've lived here all your lives. You were born here. This should be easy enough. Miss Morris.
Tomato.
Yes. Very famous is the Minnesotan tomato. What with all the sub-zero temperatures and ground frost, very common is your Minnesotan tomato.
Yep.
You mean that Mediterranean fruit that's grown in warm climates, that one?
Yep.
You're going with that, are you?
Strawberry.
Oh, you're changing it to strawberry. So again, you've gone with a fruit that's Mediterranean, grows on straw and likes hot weather.
Yeah.
What about maybe choosing something that grows in climates that were more tundra-based?
Olive.
Olive. So don't let all those groves of Italian and Greek olives deter you in your answer. You cannot have, and I don't think this is going to hinder you, tomatoes, strawberry. Hang on, how's an olive a fruit?
It grows on a tree,
by the
doesn't
way,
it?
tomato.
Well, it's not a vegetable.
Yeah.
It's not. Eat up your fruit. Hang on, I'll have some more tapas. What would you describe an olive as? I guess it is a fruit.
A
it
nut?
grows on trees. A nut. Yeah, give me some of them olive nuts. So that would make olive oil nut juice.
Yep.
Yay.
It all comes around, doesn't it? Tomato as well, by the way. There's an argument that it,
Yeah.
I guess it is a fruit. Mm-hmm. It's the difference between knowledge and intelligence,
knowledge.
isn't it? Well, intelligence is knowing
It's natural
that a tomato's a
intelligence.
fruit, and wisdom's knowing not to put it in a fruit salad, of course. You can have any fruit except olives, strawberries, and tomatoes. That's a bad bad slot machine there, isn't it, at the
Shoot.
casino?
Yeah, it's like
I've got
off in the
2 olives
corner.
and a tomato. I've won 3 tomatoes. Look, I've got $1.50. Anything you'd like to add?
I'm going to guess an apple.
You are 100% correct. After all of that, it is, I'll give you 2 very crunchy points. It is, if you're interested, a Honeycrisp apple. It was designated in 2006. Apparently, there's quite a busy, very famous and industrious apple breeding program.
There is.
I didn't know that apples bred. Who knew? Apple breeding program. What do you do? Stick 2 apples in a pen and kind of place them Barry White? Just an apple breeding. How'd you like a little bit of how's your father? Listening to the sounds of Barry White's 2 apples getting on. I was thinking more of a documentary. Like, here we see the male apple for the first time coming out of the woods. The first dew of the spring, you can see it licking the bark. In full spring mating colours approach the female apple slowly across the wind-swept plains of Minnesota. He has a Prince CD in his mother's hot dish. Expectations are high. Unbelievable. I shall give you points. Michelle, very, very impressive. It is an apple. The state fruit of Minnesota is an apple. More people do what in Minneapolis than any other city in the whole of America. More people do what in Minneapolis than in any other city in the whole of America. Miss Morris.
Walk.
They walk. Again, it's -40. There's 6 feet of snow everywhere for pretty much 6 months of the year, but you are going to go with walk.
Yeah.
I will tell you, actually, that's not a bad answer because Minneapolis is the 3rd highest city in America for cycling, would you believe? But I'm guessing there's only a narrow window to kind of implement cycling. I wonder if we didn't have decent weather all year round, we would be #1 for cycling. The winter stops us from penetrating 2nd and 1st place. And you are suggesting more people walk in Minneapolis. I guess we have all those sky tubes. What are they called?
Skyways.
Skyways, like something from Logan's Run.
Yeah.
Very, very 1980s sci-fi.
Yeah.
We're going to go with walking. More people do what in Minneapolis than any other city in America?
Skate or ski?
Let me give you a clue. It's inside, and traditionally you'd do it on your own. Does that help you? So more people do this on their own and inside than any other city in the whole of America. You are suggesting it is the knitting capital of America. Well, there's a lot of people called Pearl, isn't there? When they were bombing Pearl Olsen, I thought it was the next door neighbour. I didn't realise he was in Hawaii during the Second World War.
You mean Pearl Harbor?
No, Pearl Olsen. She lives next door. They're bombing Pearl Olsen, quick. They're dragging her out of the house. You don't get it. Pearl Harbor sounds like Pearl Olsen. And Pearl Olsen sounds like a name that a Minnesotan woman would have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not rocket science. I just thought that was... I love this show. There's no getting around it. Corrie, any thoughts? You're doing this inside and you're doing it on your own.
Meditate?
It is reading. More people read in Minneapolis than any other city. It's the most literate city in the whole of America. There's more bookshops, more libraries, more newspaper circulation, and more education levels than any other city in the whole of America.
Nice. Which
is ridiculous, really, when I come across people in the town that can't read and write and think that English muffins in England are called English muffins. We just call them muffins. You don't need to ask me regularly what we call English muffins in England. They're muffins.
They're crumpets.
I do not want any more letters or fan mail that ask me what English muffins are. Guess what the Canadians call Canadian bacon and have a wild stab in the dark. I cannot give the points away. It's 2 little ducks on each side. I went to the library looking for a book on how to fix automatic gearboxes, but they only had manuals.
No.
In 2012, the Walker Art Gallery... Have you been to the Walker Art Gallery?
I have.
Morris, Walker Art Gallery?
Yes.
You've been there?
Once.
You went there. Well, that's good enough. That's better than nonce. I went to the Walker Art Gallery. It looks like the Rocky Robot game, doesn't it? Do you not think the
It does.
outside, the architecture? What's that game called with the rocky robots?
Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
There you go. I think it looks a little bit like that. In 2012, the Walker Art Gallery in Minneapolis hosted the world's first internet video festival and exhibition. You just need to tell me what videos they used. 10,000 people turned up to this. What
It's
internet videos
massive.
did they use in 2012 in Minneapolis, Miss Morris?
YouTube.
Okay, well, the guys from YouTube were there filming it, that is true. But what did they use? What specific genre did they take off of YouTube and use in an exhibition in the Walker Art Gallery? What kind of YouTube videos could you have, do you think?
Video game.
Video games.
Like Super Mario Brothers.
So, YouTube videos of people playing video games?
Yes.
Okay, we're getting there bit by bit. Michelle looks like she knows the answer, so I'm going to hand it over
I'm
to
going.
her. You are going.
And it's the Cat Festival.
It is the Cat Festival. They
Oh,
have a cat
God.
video
Cat video, cat
festival.
movies.
We
cat...
need to go to that.
Oh, God.
It's a riot.
Can we do like an outside broadcast? I guess with COVID we can't do a great deal, but I'd like to go and do an outside broadcast as MQTA
It looks like so much fun.
and do a cat
No.
festival. Wow, you may even get yourself a
Gross.
date if there's some strange men there with 300 cats that are living
Fingers
on their own.
crossed.
You can only hope, can't you, to find a man that smells of cat pee-wee and is covered in fluff and fur. Remember, if cats could text you back, they wouldn't. Now, on this day, I'm going to give you points. I'm sorry, I missed you out
okay.
there. So you've got a fur ball of 4 that you're currently coughing up. On this day in 1983, I'm sure we'll all remember it very well. The A-Team premiered on NBC.
Nice.
So for the first time in the history, I've got a grin on my face of More Questions Than Answers, the only paranormal quiz show in the world. We are doing strange, bizarre and fascinating facts about the A-Team. Fan of the A-Team?
Yes.
Jess.
I know why you like the A-Team. You fancied Face, didn't you?
Dirk Benedict.
And Murdoch.
You like Murdoch as well? You.
No.
Oh, God. Well, that gives you an insight into how her walnut works, doesn't it? Good God. Mad dog howling Murdoch was your favourite.
Oh, that makes me happy.
He was the only person in the show who never had a first name. You never found out what his first name was. Did you like the A-Team? Were you a fan?
I did.
We're all a fan of the A-Team.
My brother liked it, so I had to
So
watch it.
by
And
default-
then
I love it when
I
a
will
plan
say-
comes together.
I love the music.
Yep.
But it's not just the A-Team music that I like. There's a specific part where just all hell breaks loose and it's fantastic. It's like the guitar solo in A Whole Lot of Loving
Yeah.
by Led Zeppelin, or the guitar riff in the middle of Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses that sticks in your mind and it's just fantastic. There is a middle 8 in that song that is just insane. So you start off with ba 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 na na na. Then, in the middle 8, we get very funky, and it suddenly breaks into a bit of strings there.
Yeah.
Wow, got
The
goosebumps.
drums.
It's just a joy, isn't it? It makes me very happy. How many people died during the entire run of the A-Team, Miss Morris?
None.
You are suggesting a nun died. So
Nothing.
not only is a nun cutting your hair at the baseball field,
No one.
not a single person died.
They had to make sure no one died to
So
keep
you're
their
suggesting that every time a car was about to blow up, people scrambled out. Every
Yep.
time someone was thrown through a window,
Yep.
the person got up and ran away. Every time somebody was shot and blown up, they were seen
spot. They were just wounded.
scarpering
Wounded.
from the scene. You're willing to commit to that, are you?
Yeah.
Do you wish to go lower than none?
I would go higher.
How many higher?
I'm going to guess 50.
50 people?
Yeah.
Was this some sort of blood sport?
Yeah.
It's a massacre tape.
Exactly.
They swapped everything out for live rounds. Good God, madam. 1. The answer was 1.
Oh.
But because Michelle went higher, of course, she wins the point.
Why? When I'm closer.
I love this show.
Yeah.
This makes me happy. I knew she'd say that. I'm making that happen. I am an enabler. This is exactly where we need to be. I will give you points, Heather. It just makes me laugh to see you suddenly bite back a little bit and show your teeth. Makes me very happy. There was one death. It was actually implied. You didn't actually see it, but it was an implied death. It was
So then
during,
it was none, right?
It was. I've already given you points. There's no more to be had. I've already given you points, Morris. It was implied.
It was inferred.
It was an inferred death, suggested at one point, hinted upon. But it was an explosion when General Forbright died. He died in an explosion, but you didn't see body parts. It was an implied death. Wars would be a whole lot better around the world right now if we just implied the death.
Yes.
I'm implying that I'm shooting you, so if you can imply to fall down, we can go home, have a cup of tea, shake hands, and call it good. What does Mr. T call the month after March? April Fool. This is a joy, isn't it? I'm going to end the show there. I'm just going to sit here now and just smile on the back of that. Makes me very happy. How did Mr. T quit during the 4th season? It was in a spectacular way, and it wasn't on film, of course. I'm not going to tell you what he did. How did he quit the A-Team? They got him back eventually. He was talked into coming back, but he left during season 4, and I'd like you to tell me how and why. How did Mr. T leave the A-Team during the filming of season 4?
He took all his gold chains and went.
He picked up his chains. He said, "That's it. I'm off. I'm done."
Couldn't find any of his
Calling
chains
it
anywhere.
Good. They'd stolen his chains.
No, he did. All of them. Couldn't find them. That's
He
how they knew he was gone.
Took them with. I think I read somewhere that they weighed about 50 pounds in weight. That's a lot to have
Maybe.
hanging off your shoulders.
Yeah.
Isn't it, Michelle?
Yes.
Yeah. What are you thinking? How did Mr. T leave the 4th series? I can give you a clue.
Yeah.
They were filming on a cruise ship, if that helps you.
What, he jumped?
Over the side and swam back.
Yeah.
Bloop. There goes Mr. T.
Yep. He
And
got
get-
a
He would have had to take off his
lifeboat.
chains.
He got a lifeboat. Ain't getting on a plane there, fool. You
Yeah.
quit your jibber jabber.
Helicopter.
Oh, there we go. We
Yeah,
got there
nice.
eventually. He jumped in a helicopter and took off. He left series 4 while they were filming on a cruise ship. And then he phoned the producers from the shore and said, "I'm not coming back unless..." He had a lot of problems. One of his relatives died. He had no air conditioning. There were lots of issues with the script and all
When
kinds of
did he
crazy
work on
things.
Rocky?
Well, that's the interesting thing.
Yeah.
Do you know everyone thinks he said, "I pity the fool"? He never said that once in the whole of the A-Team. Those are lines from Rocky.
Huh.
And I think Rocky was 1983. So I'm thinking that's in amongst the same type of filming in the same period. I'm happy to be proven wrong, but wasn't Eye of the Tiger 1983? You know how much we
Probably.
like 80s music. We need to be playing that in the studio and dancing
Yeah.
as we normally do. But Morris has won the points for getting helicopter. Do you know what helicopter is in German?
Helicopter?
Helicopter. I think it's a Hubschrauber, but I think helicopter said in German was sufficient to win the points. I don't go on ships. I'm not falling for that again after my relatives ended up in Australia. Finally, what does the A in the A-Team actually stand for and mean, Miss Morris?
A, huh?
Yes, A, huh? Canadian.
A.
A, what?
It's A.
The A stands for A.
Yes.
There is a town in Switzerland whose name is A. Spelt how you would, just an A. There is a town in Switzerland that's called A. Useful if you're looking on a map for a town named A. I mean, it would be the first one up there, wouldn't it? I guess, unless there was a town called AA. I don't know. I'll have to look into it. Swiss are a very strange bunch, of course, but
I
their
think
flag's a big plus.
I think it just stands for A. Instead of the B team, they are the A team.
Well, no, it does actually stand for something.
Autonomous.
Autonomous team. They work on their own. They don't follow the rules. They're going to do it on their own. They're almost breaking the law. The DA's ain't there pulling his hair out right now. Wow.
It's something military that means
It is military, yeah.
it's like it's not AWOL, but it's like they're I can't even think of what
Something
I wanna
beginning
say.
with A.
Androgynous.
It's the androgynous team. Hello, sir. Sorry, madam.
Ambiguous.
It's the ambiguous team, followed by the biguous team.
Yeah.
It means Alpha. Alpha Force, Advanced Alpha Team. They're the team that go in first, and then the team that go in second is called Bravo Team. So they were the first people in, the first point of contact, I guess. Alpha, Advanced Team, followed by the Beta Team. This is all to do with Vietnam, of course. Remember, Chuck Norris doesn't have flashbacks of Vietnam. Vietnam has flashbacks of Chuck Norris. They're mad, they're bad. They are paranormal. That was them, but this is now as we enter our favourite part of the show. It's the Mailbag.
Mailbag!
It's a mailbag.
We love the Mailbag. Deanna's been very busy this week. She's one of our
Yes.
followers and Patreon supporters. She's put together some brilliant graphics. There's actually a black and white graphic of me talking into this mic right now and me saying, I love this show. I've not said why am I here for a while. I must be enjoying myself.
Yeah,
I think, a new outlook,
you're getting used to it.
sun shining. I think you get used to abuses, don't you? It becomes the norm.
Yeah.
Very rarely in the last few weeks have I said, why am I here?
No.
I say it all the time.
Yes, you're thinking it all the time. I'm sure of that. Deanna says this show makes me very happy. Great show last night. It was great to interact with you. Enjoyed the laughs. Thank you for another great show. And she's actually written that on prison paper, would you believe?
Yay.
Really?
Lisa has also written, thank you for the wonderful show tonight. All the stories were fun to listen to. Interesting how Deanna's prison paper looks like your note paper.
Oh.
Yeah.
You must have good eyesight
Were
from
you
there.
in prison too?
Lisa, you're both in prison together. That's where you are. You're tunnelling at the moment. You've got a tunnel going behind a poster of Raquel Welsh, is what's currently taking place. I should keep hold of these notes. I'm throwing stuff away and actually need them. We got a Christmas card last week.
Yes.
Yay.
I know we're a few weeks into January now. Well, we're nearly at the end, aren't we? This is the last show I think we're
Yeah.
doing in January. Next week's show's going to be in February, isn't it? No, we're still
No.
going to be at the end of January. We've got a card from Australia.
Yeah.
Oh.
All the writing's upside down, of course, so I'm going to have to turn it around. This is from our good friends in Australia. Tanya, thank you very
Yes.
much for
Hi,
this.
Tanya.
Hi,
So
sweetie.
we've got some excuses for it coming late. I'll put it behind me when we finish with it. Dear Adrian, Heather and Michelle, may your Christmas be merry and bright with a touch of magic. Greetings from Australia. Congratulations on achieving several milestones for MQTA in a year that, quite frankly, can sit in the naughty corner. That's all very well because you don't have corona cases in Australia because they did it properly from the beginning, right?
Right.
May 2021 bring you all the peace and good health and loads of fun moments. Thank you for keeping us entertained. Your laughter and crazy banter brings a smile to our faces. It's a beautiful community you have created. And that's Tanya, and not forgetting Michael, of course. Tanya
Yes.
and Michael. And I've even got a drawing of a koala bear. In fact,
Oh.
this is a little critter on the front of the card. It's a wallaby.
Yes.
We see them very
I love
often,
him.
she says. And she says they taste very greasy, but they go well with potatoes.
Oh, God.
So that's good news. I'm going to put that up here. Thank you very much for that. I wonder if that will stay there. There, our card from our Australian followers and supporters. Heather, would you like to discuss very briefly how people can send money to donate to the show to keep us on air past our 300th episode next week on Patreon and what they get for their money?
Well, if you head to Patreon, you are going to get shows that have never been aired before. Some shows that are archived on there, like radio plays. And also, you are going to get the shows first and foremost before anyone else, as long as you like the extra bit at the end, which is the not for your mama bit.
We do an extra part of the show at the top of the hour. We stay in the studio and read stories of an adult and filthy nature that we find from around the world each week. But we cannot read that out on MCN6 because we would be removed. Don't forget, if you can watch every Saturday night at 9 o'clock Central Time on MCN6, we'd be very, very grateful. You can get this episode streamed anywhere in the world live just by typing in www.mcn6.org, and you can get that to any single device, wherever you are in the world. We have many platforms. We're on SoundCloud, of course. If you go to SoundCloud, search for MQTA Radio. We're on iTunes, Stitcher, every single platform you could possibly imagine. You have no excuse for not finding us. And just a quick reminder that my latest book, Ghosts of the US Dakota War 1862, is currently out. I've been nominated in the Minnesota Book Awards for this year, so we'll keep our fingers crossed. I think they're going to announce the final nominations on the 30th of January, so we'll keep an ear open for that. But it'd get to number one a couple of weeks ago in the new releases chart on Amazon. So thank you for everyone who's purchased that book. And I really appreciate all the reviews you've written as well. So if you'd like to write a review for that book and you've bought that book, I would be very grateful. Would you like to tell our listeners that are aesthetically pleasing and perfectly formed what they can do on a Tuesday at 8 o'clock as well?
On Tuesday, you need to mix up your drinks early and meet us over on More Questions and Answers with Adrian Lee's Facebook page, and then switch on your TV and turn on the Curse of Oak Island on the History Channel, and then drink with us. Drink a lot.
We have a lot of fun having a watch party on a Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central Time. You're more than welcome to join us. It's a fantastic hour of fun. Nobody watches the show.
No.
Because I will tell you what happened on the show this week.
Nothing.
They found a brass wardrobe knob.
A wardrobe knob.
That's what we say in Britain. It's
Wardrobe
a brass
knob.
wardrobe knob. It's a chest of drawers. Do you know him? He's a very famous Victorian musical singer, was Chester Drawers. They found a knob from a wardrobe in the swamp, and that took an hour, apparently. So you're welcome to join us for that kind of crazy excitement.
Crazy kids.
Michelle's on 4. I'm yet to score. Heather has managed to find her way up to 6, but all is to play for as we enter the round called Ghosts and Hauntings. And remember, we do not do orbs. Actors might relish a part in a ghostly thriller, but perhaps not when the drama is in their own home. Unusual to have drama in your own home if you're a celebrity, right? That very rarely happens. A number of high-profile stars are thought to have shared their homes with paranormal housemates. This week, Australian beauty Kate Blanchett secured planning permission to knock down a cottage and a shed at her home, Highwell House in Crowborough, East Sussex. After it was agreed, the colony of bats holding up her plans could be rehomed. Just taking them out on a minibus. You're going to be rehomed. We're going to take you out. Get on the bus. Take your luggage with you. We'll find you a nice place to hang out. But the rare nocturnal animals aren't the only things going bump in the Lord of the Rings star's home. These celebs might be dealing with their own phantom menaces. Kate's grand Victorian home, built in 1890, was previously listed as one of Britain's 15 creepiest abandoned places, and even has its own Facebook page devoted to the ghostly goings-on. Kate, 51, bought the refurbished mannered house in 2016 for £4.6 million, which is close to $7 million. But before that, the 7-bed house known as Potter's Manor has been fallen into disrepair. There were pentagram symbols often used as part of witchcraft and pagan ceremonies on the ground. And on a Facebook page dedicated to the place, one poster believes their friend photographed a ghost within the walls. It might be the mothership for all of one of the biggest reality shows ever, and already bursting with the Kardashian-Jenner clan, but Kendall Jenner is convinced her family home in Los Angeles is also haunted. This is an entire article on famous people's haunted houses. The Model 25 reckons there can be no other explanation for the sound of mysterious footsteps and the shower turning itself on. She told Vogue magazine in 2018, Kylie and I would always hear footsteps. Am I sounding like one of the Kardashians?
Yeah.
Kylie and I would always hear footsteps on the roof while no one was at home. Kylie's shower used to turn on all the time, and we never knew why, she said. Oh yeah, I'm convinced it was a ghost. There is a whole list of famous people, famous celebrities with ghostly houses. Go to our Facebook site, More Questions and Answers with Adrian Lee, and you can read them all for yourselves. Celebs haunted by the dead, or they're not right in the head. Decide for yourself. Miss Morris, what have you got for me tonight in the round of ghosts and hauntings?
Something more fun than that.
Oh.
What could possibly be more fun than celebrity haunted houses?
A dead bat generated controversy ahead of a recent football match between Cameroon and Zimbabwe. Is that not interesting?
Yes.
Yes, it's always fun when Central African countries get together to kick a football about.
The problem started just prior to the African Nations Championship opener between the two nations last week, when Zimbabwe head coach Zdravko Lagoriskit something.
You're going to risk it?
Yep.
For a biscuit? Wow.
Accused the opposing team of witchcraft due to the discovery of a dead bat.
Hang on. Stop right there. If you are playing the Bell Bunk and Snort drinking game, Michelle just choked. I've had a snort like that.
Witchcraft.
That's got to be the
from
best.
my cold.
Oh,
Yeah.
everything came out. That was
Sorry.
that's at least 2 shots.
That's bad.
You've not done a snort like that for many years, have
No.
you? That was a cracker.
That
A
hurt.
cracker.
That hurt. Look, her
That
brains
probably
are falling
cleaned your
out.
sinuses.
Yeah.
Nice.
Ooh, feel better.
Well, Lugaruskik accused the opposing team of witchcraft due to the discovery of the dead bat on the hallway line before the game had even begun. A photograph of him pointing out the offending animal. Offending animal!
I'm feeling offended. Stop pointing at me.
Quickly appeared on social media, with Lugaruskik maintaining that such an intimidation tactic had no place in the sport. As it happened, Cameroon went on to win the match 1-0.
Oh.
Congrats! Whether the bat had anything to do with it or not, however, remains a matter of debate. This wasn't the only controversy to befall the championship either. Just a few days later, a Zambian Super League coach was suspended after he was caught urinating on the opposing goalpost.
Lovely. What's going on in these stadiums out there?
Dead bats, witchcraft, urination.
Dead bat, or I don't believe that. You decide to go to our Facebook site, questions and answers with Adrian Lee, and you can see the urination for yourself. A crazy girlfriend. Is there any other kind? Controversial. I thought I'd be controversial. A crazy girlfriend made her partner sell a cursed mirror he owned, claiming his exes got naked in front of it. Paul Young uploaded a comical advert for the mirror saying his girlfriend called it the slag mirror. It's a slag mirror.
I love it.
Great.
He wrote alongside the ad, absolutely cursed mirror for sale. Girlfriend is making me sell it. She's making him sell it because in the past he's had other girlfriends and they've stood naked in front of the mirror. So apparently now it's a cursed mirror because other women have stood in front of it and been naked.
Yes.
Bought it a few years ago. I might do this in an East London accent, actually.
Yeah.
Bought it a few years ago down in Market when we were on a break and seeing other people. When we got back together, she always called it a slag mirror. When apparently other slags have probably got changed in front of it. So it's all been a good point of arguments. Well, bearing in mind she's dating this man and she is on the end of this list, I might add.
Yeah.
He added, don't ask because I think she's crazy. Wife material then.
Yeah.
Paul added that the mirror was going for $20 and was available for collection in the local area. He added, she's not really as crazy as I make out. It's been going on for a joke for a few years now. She calls me Chubbs and Plumpy, so it's totally harmless. Mirror, mirror on the wall. This man's a fool. Go to our Facebook site, more questions. You're mesmerised.
Chubbs.
Slag mirror.
Slag mirror.
Plumpy.
You're not calling me Chubbs and Plumpy. Isn't there a player
Slag.
for the Cleveland Browns called Chubbs?
Chubbs.
Chubb. I'm going to buy you a shirt from the Cleveland Browns and it's going to have Chubb written on the back.
No.
I'll wear it.
Plumpy. If
Wear
you wish to buy Miss Morris a gift, she's looking for a Cleveland Brown shirt with the word Chubbs
Chubbs.
written on the back. How you doing, Plumpy?
Is
You
that
all right?
in Happy Gilmore? Chubbs?
Chubbs. Chubbs. Crazy time. I've given myself some points for that. Wow, Corrie, what have you got for me tonight in the round of ghosts and hauntings?
In Blythe's spirit, Dame Judy
Duty Dench.
Duty.
I'm so sorry, Dame Judy.
I love her.
Why are you
Dave,
looking
I
up?
did
She's
too.
not dead. Why
I
are you
know.
looking up?
I'm just saying I'm sorry.
She
Having
wants her
said that-
message to get there.
The show's got to come out on Saturday,
it's
isn't it?
Dame Judy Dench plays medium Madame Arcati, who raises the souls of the dead in a seance. And the cast thought life was imitating art, believing the ghost of playwright Sir Noel Coward, who wrote the play, was haunting the set when the electrics went haywire during the filming. Actress Isla Fisher said that they were spooked when the power outed in the middle of a scene. She says, "We were convinced it was Noel Coward visiting us. Perhaps Madame Arcadi's powers were at play, although one review said the Sky Cinema film would have Noel Coward turning in his grave." Maybe he really
like
was.
a barbecue spit. Isla Fisher's married to Sacha Baron Cohen. She's an Australian actress. She used to be in Home and Away. She was in the Wedding Crashers, if you remember.
Yes, she was.
She was the woman who was very kind of salacious and was all over
with
them.
Vince Vaughn.
Even though she was pretending to be innocent, but that's that particular actress.
Yeah. Isla told the Plot Twist podcast, I don't believe in ghosts, but I was very close to my grandma, and I do definitely feel connected to her when I need to.
There you go. Noel Coward, what a playwright. If you wish to see the story in full, it is available on our Facebook site, More Questions and Answers with Adrian Lee. A ghostly shipwreck marooned off the British coast appears just a few times a year when it can be spotted from the beach. The eerie vessel became stranded in October 1939 and becomes visible during extremely low tides when it can be seen off the Formby shore. Formerly the Ionic Star, it ran around as it was heading to Liverpool with a cargo full of meat, fruit and cotton. What a combination. The wreckage was abandoned by its crew, and now all that remains is the skeleton of the former vessel. So a skeleton crew.
Arg.
I love this show. It remains wedged into the Mad Wolf sandbank and can be difficult to access due to the changing tides. Coated in barnacles and rust, a rare sighting of the ghost ship was captured on camera by the Liverpool Echo. I suppose it was a silly thing to do, what with the weather being so bad and all. His haunting photos were taken during an extremely low tide and offer a rare glimpse of the vessel. Collins' incredible photos show birds stopping to rest on the frame of the shipwreck in the morning sunlight. But with many locals taking to Merseyside's coastline for their daily exercise, there's a chance even more people will spot the ship during this year's low tides. The rare glimpse of the ghostly shipwreck offers a reminder of the maritime history of Merseyside's coastline. Haunted wreck or what the heck? You decide. See those fantastic photographs for yourself on our Facebook site, More Questions and Answers with Adrian Lee. Miss Morris.
Yeah?
What do you have for me now? Are you going to go Crypt 2? Here we go. I rue the day anyone ever sent that in. I do.
Best day ever.
That, again, that's like my stomach after the Mexican buffet. Yeah, that's the one right there. You know you're going to be in for a rough night and you're going to have dead man's grip, right? That's what's going to happen. You know, after hearing that sound, an hour later, you're reinserting your lower intestinal tract with a shoehorn.
Well, a chance sighting of a mysterious biped at the side of the road near Silverton has been making the news this week.
Silvertown or Silverton?
Yes, it's in Canada.
Oh, I'm sorry. There is... In the docks of East London, there's a place called Silvertown, and they were having arms and ammunition there during the First World War, I believe, and it caught fire and exploded and killed thousands of people. It was a very big explosion.
Thank you
Go on,
for bringing a
Bringing
funny
it down.
story down.
Yes, well,
Womp.
Can I finish my
I am
Canada
the
story?
bringer of doom and misery. Yes, be
Beth.
funny, Morris.
Local news outlets in Canada have been reporting on the sighting of a large, unidentified creature that was witnessed way back on December 25th in British Columbia.
Oh.
Erica Spink de Souza, yes,
Yeah, I knew
that's
his
her
mother.
name, Spink de Souza.
Okay.
And
I want to
three
go
of-
on a date with Sphincter Souza.
I didn't say Sphincter Souza,
Well, in my mind, that's what's happening.
That's what I'm hearing.
boy.
Yeah. If someone could find me that woman, I'd be very grateful. I want to meet Sphincter Souza.
Yeah.
And three of her friends have been driving home around 9 p.m. on Christmas Day when two of the group, Erica, who was in the back seat, and another who was in the front, caught sight of a huge man
A nude
standing
man?
on two legs. Then all of a sudden he went down to four legs,
Whoa.
running
Running on all fours.
Whoa.
with
remarkable.
the devil. No.
No.
I've lost my grip on
Yes.
the day. This is getting away from me.
We live near Silverton, British Columbia in Canada. We have also been walking in the woods near our house.
And guess what
one
we call our
time,
bacon?
I saw a structure set up of trees that looked deliberately placed in different crisscross arrangement.
There's a giant
I
game of
also-
tic-toe. dough. What do you call
Tic-tac-toe dough?
Dough.
Tic-toe dough. Well, we call it that in Britain.
What have you been drinking?
Yeah,
We
you
didn't
want
even
the
break out
jubes?
the jubes.
Hey, hey, that's a good idea.
No, for the 300th, we'll do jubes.
I have a selection of flavours. If you watch next week's show, same place,
Jube
same
day.
time, we're going to have a jube fest, and it's going to be messy.
Oh, God.
Just prepare yourself for that.
Well, just so
sloppy.
just so you
King
know,
of the jubes.
just so you know, the aminal sounded part aminal and part man.
Manimal.
It's a mammal.
It's an amaniginal.
Amanigital.
An aminal.
Yeah, hairy. He big, he hairy. Walk on 2, then 4.
I'd be afraid. It'd be big and hairy, and I'd be afraid of it.
Now it's gone.
You're done, is it?
Yeah, it's all gone now.
Wow.
Oh, God, no.
What am I going to do for the next 5 minutes?
Well,
Aminal.
Scientists are nearer discovering how dinosaurs... No, we won't be doing that. Whoops. If you wish to hear the Not For Your Mother round, you need to stay on and listen.
dinosaurs.
A pet owner has been left baffled after a cat kept bringing home a bag full of treats, even though none of her neighbours have animals.
We could make a movie out of this.
8-month-old Zico has twice returned from his wanderings with a packet of cat snacks.
Cat snack fever.
This is just a joy. But owner Lee Harvey, 42, has no idea where
Lee
he's
Harvey
getting them.
Oswald.
He's reborn.
She keeps hers hidden, and no neighbours have cats. It's a couple of square miles as well, isn't it? Cats have as their territory. Mum of 2, Lee of Southampton, said, "We have no idea where they're coming from, but Zico is pleased as punch to have treats on tap." Wow. I just thought it was very funny that the cat keeps coming home with bags of treats, and
No,
she doesn't know.
seriously. We'll make a movie about it.
We have no idea. There are more questions than answers. Will all good things come to an end? So let us look at tonight's scores. In last place with the K2 meter and the dead battery is myself. It comes as no surprise. I only managed 4 points tonight. I get a shower, a dead bat, and a book of spells.
Oh.
Could always be worse, couldn't it? I've seen worse prizes
Seen worse, yeah.
on
Worse.
television shows.
I've gotten worse.
In
Got
second
worse.
place tonight with a rather small 6, but better than me, of course, is Michelle. She gets a ticket for a soccer match in Central Africa with Dame Judi Dench.
I love
Duty.
I love her.
My
Duty
advice
Dench.
would be to take some sunblock and don't go anywhere near the goalpost because it's a little bit soggy. In first place tonight, winning the $33,000
Thank
IR
you.
camera, is Miss Morris. She got up to the hedonistic heights of a rather splendid symmetrical bottom-heavy 8. She gets a haunted slag mirror
My favorite.
and a shirt with Chubs
Chubs.
written on it.
You got a lot.
That is a lot of prizes. Do not fear, listener. Remember, we are back with a whole new bunch of shows next week at the same time. It's our 300th episode.
Woo!
You need to come and join us. There will be more madness, more frivolity than you could possibly manage. And once the genie's out of the bottle, anything can happen, of course. I would love for you to join me for a fun and informative journey through the world of the paranormal, strange, intriguing, bizarre and weird. Please tell your friends and family about the show and feel free to contact me anytime via our Facebook site. More questions and answers with Adrian Lee. My gratitude and greatest thanks are extended to Lorna Hunter, Heather Morris, Shaton Drainer, Kim and...
No.
That was Pat.
Is that your old notes?
Old notes.
It just remains for me to say thank you for listening and remember, be interested and interesting. Good night.
Chubs.